welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs, such as you can see, my new best friend, Kim, Hartleroad. How are you doing, man? How's it going?
We're doing fine today.
Blue Cape Cellars.
Yes.
And before we get to the wines and about your story and everything, I got to show a couple of pictures over here.
Fabulous.
And hopefully we can catch this. This is the original sketch. Well, a copy of the original sketch as to why the Blue Cape.
Yeah, the artist at the company who designs this, we gave him several ideas. Basically, the wine is the name comes to honor my late mother, who was a registered nurse. And
may I show a picture of your mother?
Yes, please. And what we did was we had actually a different name for the wine. And one day I was thinking about how I used to pick my mom up from her shift at work. She did a lot of private nursing, and she would wear the full-blown nurse's uniform when she worked for a private client. And when she would walk from the mansion that she was working in down toward the car, the cape would blow in the wind. And I thought, boy, that'd be a nice image to capture. Plus, she paid my way through wine school. So, let's honor her that way, huh? One of the clients she worked for was Cole Porter, the late musician. She actually took care of his mother, who needed 24/7 nurses' care. So we used to talk to her about, did you learn anything or hear some things with Cole Porter? And she got in an argument with my aunt once because my aunt says that's Cole Porter's latest song, and my mom says, no, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. And she found out she heard him compose it. So it was kind of cool.
For you young kids who do not know who Cole Porter is, please Google him.
Very famous songwriter.
It's just incredible. One of the most famous songwriters, my favorite, as a matter of fact. Anyway, so here we have, let's get right down to the wines because we have limited time. But let's get right down to the wines because your wines, you specialize mostly on Pinot Noirs
Yes.
and Pinot Grigios or just Pinots in general?
Well, the Pinot Noir is our specialization. The Pinot Grigio we decided to do just to have a second variety.
Right.
And we had a chance when we first started making wine in Santa Barbara to get some Pinot Grigio grapes. And then all of a sudden they were all sold out, and then another winemaker came to us and said, I have some for you, and so we did that. But it's mostly Pinot Noir.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Pinot Noir, it's kind of the sexiest wine in the entire field, right? I mean, people whenever they pour a Pinot Noir in a glass, some people have deemed it sex in a glass. Is that correct?
Well, we would hope so. But ours is very elegant. What we did was we made a Pinot Noir in a very French style.
Right.
It's unfiltered, it's unfined. So when you pour a glass of it, you will actually notice that it's a little bit opaque. And some people go, oh my gosh, there must be something wrong with the wine. No. What we did was we vinified 13 barrels for our first vintage, and then we tasted all of them and we blended it and we said, you know what, we're going to go with unfiltered, because a lot of times when you filter a wine, you strip it of its flavor.
What do you mean by opaque? Because I am not a connoisseur, but there's all this terminology, and I love how people describe wines. I mean, it's such a romance, and there's an art and a technique to describing wines.
Very simple. Pour the wine in a glass, look at it, and if you can see through it, if it's very light or very, it's kind of transparent, that means that it's probably been filtered. And but if you pour the wine like our 2012 Pinot Noir, if you pour it in a glass and you see that it's a little, you can't quite see through it. It's not as clear, then it's pretty much unfiltered or unfined.
I got it. And then let's talk about this particular one, this 2012 Pinot Noir, Saint Rita.
It's from
Hills.
Santa Rita Hills.
Santa Rita Hills
is sort of the I call them the Lexus of the grapes from Santa Barbara County. It's one section of Santa Barbara County where the Pinot Noir is terribly expensive, but some of the best grapes in the world, and equal to the quality of some places in France.
And this particular wine won a gold
double gold medal in the San Francisco International Wine Competition. What that means is that two particular committees have to give it 100% thumbs up gold medal. Wow. One dissenting vote, you don't get it. 4,600 wines were entered, 201 double gold. We were one of them, and this was our first vintage.
What was those numbers again?
4,600 wines.
4,600 wines.
And 200 got double gold.
Wow.
So we were in the elite there.
That is amazing. So does that drive the price of the wine higher, or because it's just so many cases that you could produce on this? That's right.
Well, we produced about 250 cases of the double gold.
All right.
And the price really isn't. There's two things that drive the price. One is literally, my cost to produce.
Sure.
And again, these grapes cost about $3,500 to $4,000 a ton. So right there, I can't sell it at $5 wholesale, for instance. But the other thing too is that then as you develop your business plan, you say, okay, here's what I want in return. And a lot of times you get what you want and sometimes you don't. So you have to make some business decisions down the line.
That is very interesting. And before we get to your entrepreneurial journey, I just have to ask you one more question, because what happens is that we, the neophytes, we're not the connoisseur. We go, and I go to Fry's, right? And I'm looking at the wine rack, and that's $70. That's got to be good. That's got to be better than the $3.95. That's not the way that things work necessarily.
Price doesn't always dictate quality. The one exception is normally when you buy champagnes that are expensive, the more expensive ones usually are the better. But really, there's just we don't have enough time to talk about how people set prices. A lot of it has to do with your reputation and how you. Your reputation and what you can do with your wine. For instance, years ago, Caymus Cabernet, Caymus, very popular Cabernet in California, cost $18 a bottle. Not anymore. Maybe $108 a bottle or more. I mean, it's just huge, and it just became so popular that they could ask for the price and they could get it.
Wow, that's incredible. Let me ask you this question. I mean, you could have been anything in the world, right? I mean, an engineer. But you get into the wine business.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I was a technical writer in California in 1981. My company made annual trips to the wine country on a Saturday, one day up and back on a bus. And that got me hooked. And so I started working at a tasting room on weekends, and I just found this to be a fascinating industry. And I said, if I ever have a chance to expand this greater than a hobby, I'll do it. That chance came in 2006. I completed the University of California at Davis's enology program for
they
distance
have the best
learners.
enology school in the nation.
We may be close to the world.
Wow.
But some of the Europeans would disagree with you, the people in Bordeaux or something. But it's a great school, and it's a good school for lots of phases of wine. But anyway, I went there, and then right after I went there, I was able to do an internship with the Summerland Winery in Santa Barbara County.
But at some point, though, I mean, you must have found that you had the palate for it as well, because, I mean, you have to be able to distinguish between, the different grapes and flavors and aromas, etc., and the colors.
I did, when I was doing it as a hobby and working in the tasting room, I did realize that I actually do have a pretty good palate, and I can pick up things blindly. I have a friend who, when we drink wine together, we brown bag the wine, and we have to guess what it is. Is this a Cabernet? Is it a Pinot Noir, whatever? And I do pretty good in that.
Doing pretty good is what, 80%, 90%?
Well, anywhere from 70% up, and it depends on if he throws me a curveball. Like if it's a blend, sometimes it's hard to pick up.
Interesting, you throw in the baseball metaphor, because in that case I'll probably be batting maybe .05 if that were the case. I mean, there's some wines that I still remember from back in the 80s, and a Pinot Noir that I just absolutely loved. It was Trefethen, made by Trefethen. It was just the most exquisite thing in the world.
And tremendous winery still, and they're still going strong.
Wow.
They and as a matter of fact, they do a lot of really cool things with what do you call it? The not organic, but the sustainable agriculture. Tremendous wine.
Fantastic.
But anyway,
where can we get this wine?
Okay.
Where do we distribute this wine?
The best locations for stores would be either the Duck and Decanter in Phoenix on 16th and Camelback, also Phoenix Wine Shop, which is on just about 71st Place and Shea. Tom Hamilton, who's been in the wine business for years locally.
And can we get it through your website?
And we are now working on a way where we can sell through the website. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Also, the restaurants, this is at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It is at a restaurant called Coup de Tar, and it looks like Coupe des Tarts, but it's pronounced Coup de Tar.
I've seen it, yep.
They are on the wine list there.
I think they're in Thomas.
And they're actually
Phoenix.
Osborne, and it's about 1725 East Osborne.
So Osborne, yeah.
So
Osborne, yeah.
they had to move their location, but
Okay.
they've been always famous
All right.
for being a BYOB. And then we're at a couple more. We've been at the Wrigley Mansion before. We've had a couple of, we've been in Raz's restaurant before.
Very beautiful.
So we've been okay, and a couple of venues in California.
What is, one last question, the future for you and the wine?
Well, we're trying to develop a better system of sales because we're a corporation of two people. I'm the winemaker. My business partner, his name is James Peck. James is a local, a resident here, and he has an environmental engineering degree and a law degree. So we're pretty well stocked as far as the expertise we need. We're trying to get a grant to expand. And if we expand, then we will go from just Pinot Noir to a couple other varietals. We want to do a Chardonnay, and we want to do a, maybe a Cabernet down the road. The nice thing is Arizona just passed a new license called a custom crush facility license. And this may also allow us to build our Share resident, Share winery here. So we'll see.
Wonderful. It always boils down to marketing, right? I mean, you can have the best wine in the world, the double gold winner, but if nobody knows about it, then it really defeats the purpose.
And I just attended a winemaking or wine marketing seminar at UC Davis called the OIV program. And one of the things they said was, look, there's so many thousand wines out there. How do you market yours? They said your wine really needs to have a story, and of course ours is the story about the label.
Absolutely.
And that.
Absolutely.
But it is true. I mean, I can make 1 million cases, but if I can't move them, why bother?
Why bother? That is the lesson that we learn every single time we interview an entrepreneur. It's about marketing, and it's about marketing. Man, I tell you what, man, I feel like I've come a long way since my days back at college with Mad Dog and Night Train. I can tell you stories about that too. With that, my dear friend, you're going to have to come back, and we're going to have to open one of these someday soon.
I hope so.
We will. And with that, we're out.